recently searched for information about how to relocate to Canada.
Worth, Washington is it's a giant tourist area. There's a lot of people from all over the world.
There's been a police presence in last.
That gives us a picture of what we're dealing with.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Jen?
Oh, I was muted. Yep, I can hear you.
Okay.
Hey, everyone. Welcome in. Thank you for joining me tonight. We are going to continue on our research and updates on the Travis Decker case. Joined with me tonight is someone you probably see in the comments section a lot with us with true crime stories. Kafiu, and I've also invited Will. Not sure if he'll make it tonight, but thank you for joining me this evening.
I am glad to be here, and there's a lot of information.
Yeah, so I want to pull this up real quick and let people know that this is the official GoFundMe posted by Whitney Decker. If anyone wants to make donations to the family, that is the way to do it directly through their GoFundMe fundraiser. So with that said, anything that comes to the top of your mind, I'm going to go and find this news article or news clip I want to show that is an exclusive. But yeah, anything that you came across today that you thought was interesting.
Yeah. So I watched that Stephanie Harlow video, and it's been a couple days ago. There's about a 12 to 14 minute clip that talks about his mental health, the VA, some stuff we did not know about the girls. It's really sad about how they were handling the visitations with their dad and things like that. And we can stop it along the way and talk about it. But I know you don't like to do that, but I think you're going to want to see this one. And the only thing is I don't have YouTube Premium, so I couldn't put it in the description. So it wouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to drop it in the comment section,
okay.
I'll play that. I do want to play this most recent news clip.
Absolutely. Yeah.
From Fox 13 Seattle. So we will take a look at this and see what they are saying. Let me add this up to the stage. All right.
I don't know if that's going to work or not.
Or you can text it to me too, and then I'll just.
I did, but I think I just did actually. Again,
yeah. Were found near a campsite in Leavenworth last week. So we want to show you some images here that have been released. Several images of Travis Decker. Take a look with us. So you see these images here, and law enforcement, they've released several images because they want people to get a good look at Travis Decker's, not only his face, but also the tattoos.
Jen, is there supposed to be a video that I can see right now?
Way, you know, they can get a good
it should
eye on what he looks like in case they may encounter him.
We'll
There's
start
another
over
image
here.
of him right there.
I had to go fund me
So
up.
today we got an update from the Chelan County Sheriff.
We'll start over.
I'm Hannah Kim at the Fox Local Live Desk. The search for the triple murder suspect, Travis Decker, continues statewide, also nationwide. Decker, of course, is wanted for the brutal murders of his 3 daughters who were found near a campsite in Leavenworth last week. So we want to show you some images here that have been released. Several images of Travis Decker. Take a look with us. So you see these images here, and law enforcement, they've released several images because they want people to get a good look at Travis Decker's, not only his face, but also the tattoos that are on his arms and body. So that way, you know, they can get a good eye on what he looks like in case they may encounter him. There's another image of him right there. So today we got an update from the Chelan County Sheriff's Office. They tell us crime scene evidence is starting to provide more information, and they have a lot to go over. So far, it's been about a week again of searching for Decker, and hundreds of square miles have been searched by land, water, and air. And now
I do want to pause this and just mention again, you know, looking at these pictures, every single picture to me looks like a different person. The guy is a chameleon.
Yep. Trying to see.
now federal authorities have taken over command of those search operations. We're going to switch over and show you the terrain that they've been searching all weekend long. Take a look here. So it's some steep terrain. We know that he is ex-military, has some elite training, and authorities believe that Travis Decker can survive on his own for long periods of time in the wilderness. So they are searching that area so far. We haven't heard of any big thing coming out of that search as far as the terrain goes. They haven't heard from other people there near maybe camping. They haven't found any tips or leads from those types of people. What they do have so far is some key evidence recovered from his car, I should say, from that GMC Sierra truck that was in the center of this investigation. They found some key evidence. They're going through that right now. They also found Decker's dog, and Decker's dog has been safely taken to the Humane Society. So that is some new information that we got today. We've also learned that
I also wanted to mention, before we move along with this clip, I did get an interesting comment on TikTok today, and someone said, what makes you all think that he did this? And I mean, I'll give it to her. She's wondering where the evidence is. Now, first off, he was the last person to be with the girls, right? So you're always going to go to the last person. And I have to think there's significant evidence for them to put all of this manpower down to search for him, to know he is the person responsible.
And I'm going to tell you one more thing that makes me not believe, but consider that. And that is the bloody handprints on the truck. Like, did somebody hurt his girls and then they've taken him somewhere, hurt him, just some, I mean, it maybe seem far-fetched, but it's not out of the realm of reality. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, it could be, let's be real. The guy's homeless. Could he be into drugs? Could he owe someone money for drugs and they took out his children and have him captive? Possibly. But I have to think that there's some significant evidence, maybe a note left behind that they're not going to show the public, to be searching for Travis Decker himself versus calling him a person of interest, which would mean we just want to talk to you.
Right.
And as we can see, you got choppers out. Finally, today, I saw videos with the canine.
I know. I was like, I don't know, man. With Chris Watts, they like within the next day they had them all over there.
Next day they had the dogs.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, how do we not have the dogs out already?
So, I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe that's the way they do things in this county, but let's see what else they kind of say in this report.
That blood samples from the scene confirm male human blood at that scene, as well as another non-human blood. It's quote in the press release, it says non-human blood sample. So DNA and fingerprint analysis are still underway on that. Hopefully we'll get more information on that. Sadly, an autopsy confirming what media outlets have been reporting about the likely cause of death for those 3 little girls, and an autopsy came out Friday confirming that the 3 sisters died from suffocation, and the manner of death in this is in fact homicide. So regarding the search, I want to go back to that search here as we look at the video and video of Travis Decker there. We want to talk about the fact that this person, again, has elite training. He has some medical, or I should say military background, I should say. So one of the things that they were worried about was the fact that he would be able to traverse the terrain and get into another state. One thing that we reported on last week is the fact that he had some Google searches that investigators found where he looked up how to relocate to Canada. So
that is some evidence they are being forthcoming with about these Google searches. And the fact that if you're searching that makes this whole situation look premeditated, right?
Yeah. And
when they
I actually have a little bit of information about that as well. So the one thing that I found, it's like a just a bulleted fact. It's in one of the articles I sent you in your email. So I dropped those so you could put them in the description, so you won't get any trouble or anything. So
let's see what else she says.
They saw that Google search,
Yeah.
and that search was made several days before he had visitation with his 3 daughters. And so investigators started looking into that, whether or not he may be on the move up north to Canada, and is that something that they needed to really focus on. So no word on that yet as far as an update on whether or not he could have made it to Canada or not. It's still preliminary, but they're looking at all avenues on this case, of course. And this is not just a statewide issue. Again, we mentioned this is a nationwide search. The entire country, people are aware of this story, of this heinous story, and the story of Travis Decker. So, they have a lot of resources on this right now. So if we get any more information as far as the investigation goes, as far as any more evidence, and also those blood samples, what
I
will
know,
those
I'm
blood
dying
samples
for
reveal in
those.
this case? So
Yeah.
once we find out more about that, we'll be back here at the Fox Local Live Desk with more information.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like also 3 hours ago there was an updated presser.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure if sure that Sheriff McCarty is nice to look at, but
He sure
don't
is.
know
Oh, was another update by
specifically.
him?
Yes, I'm not sure if they're going to provide anything more. I didn't watch it yet. But so the video you sent me, does she kind of source where she gets her information from and things like that?
Yeah, and she has. And
Stephanie.
so let me tell you this. She doesn't do that. What she does is she tells the whole story. She doesn't use anybody else's links or anything like that, like ever. Yeah, because it's her whole story. So she actually tells a story. It's not like it's different than, I don't know. I mean, do you ever watch like Kimberlia or anything like that? So you need to put it on
No, I haven't.
23.1 on there once you get to that. I can't hear it right now.
Oh, I have it on
Okay.
mute right now. So usually, before I play someone's video, I will go to their page just so we can kind of get a background on them.
Yeah,
this is Stephanie's page.
Mhm.
I will not play the entire clip because obviously I want you guys to go to her page and check it out. But what we'll do is
the
we'll
part
play
that
a little bit of it.
the part that I've picked is basically about Travis taking the girls that day, and then a little bit of information about his mental health. Like I said, it's 12 to 14 minutes, so you can we can stop and talk about it because I think you're going to find it very interesting. I was shocked, really.
Okay, so there I pinned Stephanie's page. Please go ahead and show her some love. Subscribe, like, engage, and comment. We'll take a look here.
Yeah, and to start it's at, let me make sure. Hold on, because I've got her open. I want to make sure.
You got a time code for me?
Yeah, it is 23:01.
Perfect. 23:01. we'll just start right there at 29, just to be safe. All right.
To adults. And this document is a standard court form used in divorce proceedings, particularly in Washington state, and it formally records the judge's decisions about major issues in a divorce case, including finalizing a parenting plan. Now, at this time, a parenting plan was finalized. Once again, no concerns from either party were noted, and Travis Decker was granted visitation with his 3 daughters every other weekend from Friday night at 6 p.m. to Sunday night at 6 p.m. But then, on September 20th, 2024, Whitney Decker and her attorney filed a request to modify the parenting plan for several reasons. The main reason being Travis's lack of a secure and safe home. Apparently, in October of 2022, a month after the divorce was filed, Travis had moved into the Armory in Wenatchee. And the Armory is just what it sounds like. It's a place to store weapons, and it's operated by the Washington Army National Guard. It's basically a military facility used by the National Guard units that has classrooms, offices, vehicle bays, storage for gear and weapons, also a sleeping barracks. And although the Armory is not intended for long-term
Wait till you hear
housing,
this.
some guardsmen or transient individuals sometimes sleep there temporarily under informal arrangements. And what probably happened is Travis, who was in the National Guard, went to his superiors and was like, hey, I'm going through a divorce. I have to leave the house. I don't have a place to stay at. Can I crash here at the Armory for a little bit? And they said yes. And initially, Travis...
Now I'm interested if they did say yes. That'll be something for us, to dig into as well.
Oh just wait, because you're going to drop your jaw here. Hold
for a few
on.
months before he moved into an apartment in Wenatchee. But when his lease at his apartment was up, Travis didn't renew it. Instead, he moved back into the Armory, and then he purchased an RV, which he took with him to Idaho in May of 2024 before the RV was repossessed, and then Travis returned to Washington state in June of 2024. Now, Whitney found out that her 3 daughters had been staying with Travis at the Armory during his weekends, and they were sleeping on mattresses. And Whitney stated, quote, there were times that I told him I didn't feel comfortable with the girls staying in the Armory with a bunch of strange men. He told me he was staying in the RV, but then I found out that he really was staying at the Armory again, end quote.
That's terrible.
Oh, just wait. Yeah, just wait.
That makes me
sick.
There's a lot of people that
it makes my stomach hurt. Yeah.
Also, that makes me feel permission was not granted, and if it was, somebody's in trouble.
Right. No, I agree with you. I mean, it makes me literally sick on my stomach. I mean, some of my history, and I literally got physically ill feeling when I watched this.
Yeah.
So wait till you hear the next part.
Whitney also brought up an incident that had happened on December 19th, 2023, when her youngest daughter, Olivia, had FaceTimed her screaming. And Whitney said, quote, Travis was nowhere in sight. Paityn had to go find him, and he was with the dogs. He told me that Paityn was unattended in the Armory with Olivia, playing on the lat pull-down machine, and smashed Olivia's fingers. Wasn't comforting her. Olivia and Paityn were crying uncontrollably. Come to find out, they'd been sleeping in the Armory, end quote. So a lat pull-down machine is a piece of workout equipment, so there's weights, and she probably pinched her fingers under the weights because some weights lift and more stay depending on how much weight you want. So that's what probably happened. But what Whitney is saying here is, which I completely understand, she doesn't want her very young daughters sleeping in the Armory because you've got all sorts of people staying there, right? People who are between homes, soldiers who, maybe have some mental health issues, drug or alcohol issues. We don't know. Transient individuals, things like that. So what Whitney is basically expressing concern for is, maybe Travis falls asleep and then one of these guys who, I'm not saying they're all bad, but there could be somebody in there who's bad and who has nefarious intentions. And maybe one of these guys sneaks over to the girls while their father is sleeping and unable to protect them. And, bad things happen. So Whitney is concerned with that. I completely agree with her. I would have been as well. I would not want my very young daughters sleeping in this Armory with their father who, has to also sleep at some point, and a bunch of...
And that's very disturbing because it makes you wonder what his mental mindset was. We have seen people who have trafficked their children for money, for drugs.
And back to what you were saying at the very beginning of this, that somebody said to you, is it possible that he didn't do it? And it could be somebody from the armory or from his circle, you know.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, so honest to God, I'm not counting that out. I'm not. I'm just not yet.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, so
No, definitely. Yeah. Today has made me have to think, is there evidence that they are just not sharing with us, which they do sometimes, because
right.
if they know something and they don't want Travis to know they know, they're not going to give it to the media to publicize. But with Whitney coming out with this information, I think that is going to put the pressure on officials to be more forthcoming with the information they have.
Yep.
Have they spoken to anyone in this armory? I mean, this is a huge twist.
I know. That's why I wanted you to see this. I was like, whoa, when I saw this. But what are you on right now? See what you're on. Hit your little red bubble.
Time code wise?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's got about another 7 or 8 minutes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and we'll just keep, stopping and going, because
absolutely, yeah. That's why I wanted to do this.
Strange men that nobody knows, and we don't know where they came from. We don't know what their history is. It's just not a good situation.
Right.
Whitney and her attorney also noted that Whitney believed Travis had been neglecting his parental duties and that he'd had long-term emotional or physical problems that were getting in the way of his ability to parent. And in my opinion, you can tell that Whitney Decker is constantly attempting to give Travis the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
She was quick to recognize when he did things right, so she wasn't just attacking him and criticizing everything he did. She stated, quote, "Travis is able to attend events for our daughters. He is engaged and demonstrates a genuine love for them, which are meaningful and appreciated by our children. Travis also has some emotional/mental health issues that were the primary catalyst to the end of our marriage. His borderline personality disorder and narcissism became rampant. Since our separation, it has become increasingly clear that Travis has been struggling to maintain stability in his life," end quote.
And that is really just unfortunate, because yes, you can end your marriage, but you cannot change the fact that he is the father of your children.
Right.
And I mean, my heart
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No, my heart breaks for this mom.
I know.
And after we watch this, I do want to play that clip that she made of him. I believe it was last Father's Day.
Yeah.
It seems like he was a loving father, similar
It's
to
like another
case.
Chris Watts scenario.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Whitney claimed that Travis's lack of stability and his emotional issues had created a negative impact on their daughters, and the children themselves were experiencing heightened emotional stress, which Whitney said could be demonstrated through, quote, "screaming, crying bouts at drop-off or when they get off a phone call. They are all happy, smart, well-adjusted girls, with the exception of when Travis brings them back to me after his visitations," end quote. Whitney detailed some incidents that had caused her concern for Travis's emotional state, saying that he would have some outbursts where he would burst into her home against her objections and yell for the girls. In August of 2023, Travis had told Whitney that he didn't want to take his daughters during their regularly scheduled weekend because he claimed the girls were walking on eggshells due to how he reprimanded the dogs, which to me sounds like he's getting very angry and violent with the dogs, which is scaring these 3 little girls.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I wonder if there's an incident report on that, but whatever he did obviously scared the girls enough to say, "Mom, we don't want to go this weekend."
Yeah. It's really sad. I mean, it's just, I mean, I don't know. That's why I wanted you to see this, because this is something we haven't heard. We didn't know about this.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, you guys, I pinned her YouTube page, so please go check Stephanie out. We will continue listening here.
Girls,
Yeah.
and they're walking on eggshells because they're terrified. Whitney also talked about an incident that happened on July 25th, 2024, where Travis had, quote, hitchhiked to my house and asked to stay in the basement with the girls. 3 hours late, said he could pick the girls up from the play, but he was hitchhiking, so the stranger would have had to have picked them up, end quote. So
Uh,
once again, Travis is showing up.
I just, what some of the times I feel like he should have just, said, I can't make it, I can't do it, instead of
Mhm.
bringing, okay, like you get a hitch ride and now this person knows where you live with your 3 daughters. That's
Exactly.
dangerous in itself.
And again,
Oh,
back to what you said at the beginning. How do we know it's not somebody like that? You know what
right,
I'm saying? It's like, so there's a lot of like different little input things. And I kind of feel that way. I'm probably going to make anybody that's listening like they're going to be like, "Meow," but about the
sure,
Coburn case,
right,
I'm sorry. I just have some questions and doubts. And last night I was on a live and I was just writing in questions. Um, that were kinda stumping everybody, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
right, and that's what I think we have to do sometimes. I mean,
yeah.
God forbid if this guy, we find out, like, he was taken out by someone and it's proven he was taken out.
Mhm.
um, Look at how the media has splashed his name all over, I mean, he's charged.
Yep,
He's
yep.
charged. That's why I'm comfortable saying this. I
Mhm.
have to think they have significant evidence, but I'm also getting so many vibes of Brian Laundrie in
Yes,
regards to this case.
yes.
If Whitney claims he's a narcissist,
Mhm.
I believe he would be a coward, not take himself out. And if he's going to, he is going to go spend as much time doing what he wants to do
Mhm.
and say his goodbyes and do all the things that the girls didn't have an opportunity to do.
I know. I just I'm telling you, I don't know why. So they said just now on your stream, your little, thing that you showed that they did not have results back on the blood from the back of the truck, right?
Correct. Yeah,
Okay, and did
we
I
don't have
hear that
that
they
yet.
said there's blood at the scene too?
Just the car, from what I
Okay,
know.
okay, okay.
Yeah. They have fingerprints to look over,
Mhm.
and it's like, God, hurry up,
I
or
know, I know.
we've been at this for a week. Um, I don't know if maybe some of this stuff was discovered today. I'm also curious to know the situation with the dog. Was the dog running around roaming, or was the dog in the car the entire time
Mhm,
by itself,
mhm.
locked up? I mean,
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions about that. I don't imagine a dog would survive a week in a hot car.
No,
So
no.
I assume the dog was out running and roaming
The dog
around.
may be with him.
True. Yeah, and it may have ditched him, or if he did what he did, then what's the dog gonna do? It's gonna run off and figure out what
Right,
to do, how to eat. Gotta find another
right,
person to feed me. Yeah.
right, right.
Okay, let's see what else she says here.
Up at her house. He's late to pick up the girls. Sometimes he doesn't even take them. Now he's showing up, in the car of a stranger and he's late and he's
Mm-mm.
like, "Hey, can I stay here with them in the basement? And also I can pick them up from their play, but I'm going to have to go with this weird stranger who
Ugh,
gave me a ride here and that
I'm like,
person is going to
"Whitney,
pick up our
no,
children."
honey." I'm
It's just
just like,
absolutely ludicrous.
yeah.
He's not thinking straight. He's not thinking in the best interests of his young daughters. Whitney claimed that as time went on, Travis was getting more and more unstable. And she stated, quote, "He has made huge sacrifices to serve our country and loves
Mhm.
his girls very much, but he has got to get better for our girls. I do not want to keep Travis from the girls at all. To the contrary, I have bent over backwards to facilitate that relationship, but I cannot have the girls staying in what is essentially a homeless shelter, at times unsupervised, with dozens of strange men, or staying in a tent or living in his truck with him, both in extreme temperatures and unknown areas for their safety, end quote.
Right.
So Whitney's saying even if Travis is, going camping and they're staying in a tent, she doesn't feel comfortable with that either because they're out in an isolated area. There's wild animals. There could be nefarious people. The girls could wander off and get lost. They don't have a lot of protection. There's no cell phone service. And if they're staying in his car, a similar sort of thing.
Right.
Like, where are you parking your truck when you guys are sleeping at night? Somebody could smash the truck and try to get in to take the girls or to hurt you. Like, it's not safe to have children kind of in these unsettled circumstances. They need to be in a house or an apartment behind locked doors, in the comfort of their own bed, in the safety of surroundings that, comfort them, not unfamiliar places. So on September 20th, 2024, when Whitney requested a change in the parenting plan, she also requested that Travis be evaluated for anger management and domestic violence, and that he have a full psychiatric evaluation performed by a licensed psychiatrist to see if there were any other potential diagnoses. And it does seem, like I said, that Travis Decker had been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder towards the end of his marriage, and it makes sense that Whitney maybe wanted to find out if there were other possible disorders that her ex-husband was suffering from. She did mention Travis's narcissism getting out of hand, so
you can see what it's on right now, because we can do like a little bit of this at a time if you want to. Like maybe
personality disorder along with the BPD. And
I'm just thinking, she really, really threw the warning signs out there, and it sounds like she was doing everything she could to get the help that she needed. And if he said or did anything that raised a red flag, his rights to see those kids would have been taken away, right? If
but
he
I
had
feel
a
like
mental,
the armory, come on, Jen, that would have been like the end of it.
Yeah. As
I mean,
mom, right?
And
Yeah.
if those babies were calling me crying,
Yeah.
I mean, just no, I don't understand it. I don't want, like you said, victim blame but I just don't understand her being as lenient as she was. I'm like, no, girl. I mean, I'm not blaming her or anything like that. I don't understand it. So I had to go to 3856. I have no idea where it is now. I think we've gone a little bit over that, but I mean, she's going into his mental illness now. So like, if you want to, maybe we can keep going, but I mean, because she goes
out. Whitney did an interview with
okay.
King 5. And we did talk about the whole Amber Alert thing yesterday.
Oh yeah, I've got some more information about that too.
So, yeah, I wanted to watch this clip, and then you can tell me kind of what your thoughts are too.
Okay.
After we, oh gosh, ads. Watching it from their page is gonna be a little tricky, but I can't believe their front page does not have this story on it. It's like crazy to me.
I know.
But that's smaller news stations for you, though, that I don't know what they're thinking. But
behind every picture, there is a story.
I'll just kind of mute it here until we get to the interview. But
yeah, I want to watch Officer.
She's already advocating. Yeah, we can check and see if she's got any new updates too. Okay, skip that ad. All right, so let's hear from Mom Whitney.
Okay.
Greg, Joyce, that attorney was wrapping up a meeting with the mother, Whitney Decker, when we arrived here in Wenatchee this afternoon, along with U.S. Marshals and local law enforcement. Whitney was teary-eyed but composed and says she's not ready to talk, at least not yet. We are getting a fuller picture of Travis Decker, the man whose life appeared to be falling apart with mental illness, homelessness, and the inability to hold down a job. And access to his kids was cut to every other weekend.
We'll just pause this and take a look at it. So these are the official documents that they're showing us that Whitney had changed.
After a custody hearing 9 months ago.
He was an engaged father. He did have some limitations on his parenting, time due to his mental illness.
The mother's attorney in the custody case says Travis became homeless a year and a half ago after leaving the Army as a Ranger.
He left voluntarily, so I believe his discharge was honorable. I think as far as the reserves, he just stopped showing up.
The attorney says Travis worked a couple.
I have a hard time even watching this because working in the industry, a mother usually is falling apart and can't.
Is that Whitney?
I believe it is.
Wow. I would be. Oh my God. I mean,
well, but here's the thing. They said that she's not ready to talk about it, but.
Well, she's talking to someone because Stephanie Harlow, I'm sure, has her sources.
Is this her or is this?
Yeah, I'm
a
not sure
spokesperson for her. Okay, usually they put like a lower third of a person's name. So let's see if they do pop.
Okay.
A couple of minimum wage jobs, and at one point was talking to the Carpenters Union about possible work, but his skills just didn't transfer.
There were no red flags. He was struggling with isolation and.
Records show Decker was diagnosed with a serious mental illness. The attorney says that was most likely related to his combat and that Decker tried and tried to get help, but there was too much red tape to get veteran services.
She really feels that the system let her children down.
Okay, so this
that's not her. Yeah.
I was going to say, my gosh, and she looked very blonde to me, and I will say they need to put this woman's name here. Usually most stations do that so that, we know this isn't Whitney. This is a spokesperson for Whitney, whether it be her sister or whatever. But
right.
It was the inadequacies in the services for our veterans that killed those children. That's it.
The attorney and the mom are also raising concerns about the state's Amber Alert system. Law enforcement officials say they did not see Decker as an immediate danger to his own children, so no Amber Alert was sent out. The attorney says the mother thinks that was a deadly mistake.
They did not see him as an immediate physical danger to his children, despite the fact that he had a well-established history of mental health issues. And had they had seen it that way, those children might still be alive.
And that's crazy to me that, when you make this 911 call to do the report, I would be very interested to hear that 911 call.
Oh, me too.
Does Whitney tell them he has mental health issues? You can go down to the courts and see the documentations I've filed, and you guys need to take this seriously.
Yeah.
Hearing that call would be interesting if it does come out.
I think there's.
I guess they could put a request in for it.
Yeah.
That's the thing that is so brutal. And the one thing she's really hoping can be changed in this tragedy.
It appears Whitney has a lot of support around her tonight. Her mother was by her side this afternoon when we saw her, and that attorney told us that even Travis Decker's father has been talking to her by phone and is now flying in from the Midwest.
Wow.
I know.
Just really unbelievable.
I just cannot. I just cannot. I'm like just thinking about this poor little. Imagine how scared they were. I know, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna try to say it tactfully, but I know Cece and Bella were scared too. But if he just zip tied their hands and zip tied those bags around their head, that took more than just a minute. So
well, these girls are older too, right? I mean, these girls are at the age.
I think they were 9, 7, and 5. Oh, one of them was 8. I don't know. I can't. I'd have to look at it.
So they definitely, I feel, had
This video has been edited just to take copyrighted music out, but this is a video that Whitney, the mother of the 3 girls, made to honor the dad over Father's Day. It's hard to believe that he took all 3 of their lives and is still on the run.
And yeah, I just, oh my gosh, he seems like a normal dad, right? Just the dad next door in all these pictures. But you know, when you look at this wanted poster, you are seeing more of that disheveled.
Well, and I know you know that if a person that has mental illness is, you know, seeing somebody, a psychiatrist or a therapist, and they are on their meds and they're taking their meds correctly, and you know, they look so much different because when they come off their meds, which because I'm bipolar, and I'm gonna tell you right now, if I did, I would never not take my meds. It's like, you know, because I have rapid cycling bipolar, so you know, you get manic and it can be really bad, really good. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
but and I have a few other things going on too. But you know, you see like how he looks. That's what happens. Their hygiene suffers, their mental status suffers, their decisions suffer. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, I mean, look how he went down. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a guy that you would see and be like, oh, you know, he's he's attractive. He looks well taken care of. And then you can see he starts looking, he's scruffing, looking more homely. I just found the GoFundMe page and I wanted to go look at that and see if Whitney writes anything. And I don't know. I assume Whitney didn't write this, but she probably, you know, approved it. So let's take a look at this and see. Gotta take my picture off. Bring this up. Okay. A lot of money raised. And you know what? I gotta say this.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure you've seen this too.
I have not seen they raised that much money. That is amazing.
And you know, Whitney will take this money and do something with it. A lot of people will criticize and say, well, they've met their goal. I'm not going to donate. Do you think Whitney's going to be going back to work anytime soon?
No.
Hell no.
No, if she ever goes back. I mean, she may end up on SSD or something because she's definitely going to have PTSD. Are you kidding me? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh.
So that's why I always am like, you know, I tell people don't, I don't know if I have my Venmo hooked up or not. I'll do this. I'll definitely be donating later today. I just don't want to slip up and have my credit card.
Look, it says only 992 people have donated that much.
Wow.
Now that is crazy. And you can see how, look, that anonymous was $3,000.
$3,000. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always find it interesting to go in here and, you know, just see. I will definitely be sharing on this. I'll definitely be donating to it too. I think what would be cool, actually, now that I think about it, maybe we could do this weekend. I didn't tell you this, but I have an infusion that I'm doing tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how it's going to go. I'll tell you more about it in text, but I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm hoping, you know, I'm feeling okay by the end of the week. But what would be cool is if we could obviously continue to cover this and have some type of update, and maybe I could do an engraved gift, like a board that we give out, and all people need to do is donate to this directly.
Any amount, anything.
$1, I don't care what it is.
Exactly. I agree.
So I'll brainstorm, something we can do, and then we'll all they have to do is, send a screenshot. Here, I donated, block out,
Yeah.
even if I can come here and see like, oh, okay, your name's there. I think that would be great. So
I do too.
yeah, because let's be real. She has probably a mortgage she's worried about. She has to bury the girls.
I
She's
know.
probably not going to work. So like, I always hate when people are like, oh, well, they met their goal, I'm not going to donate. And it's like, well, she's going to do something with this money. So
Yeah. And you know what? Those people can just whatever. That's their decision. But I mean, I don't think people are going to stop donating. I don't think they are. I think they're going to really help this woman. And it would not surprise me with how Stephanie is talking about Whitney is that if she, takes care of her children with that or whatever, and say, obviously she probably maybe pay off where she's living. I bet she donates some of this money to charity.
Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah.
figures out a way to maybe make some type of donation to the system that deals with the Amber Alerts.
Yeah.
Maybe they need more staffing. God knows what they need to have gotten this done.
There's something I want to show you in one of the articles that I looked up about the
Mhm.
Amber Alert. It is under fire. I mean,
Can you drop it also in the comments?
I sent it to you in an email.
Oh, okay. No, I meant like so other people can read it too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to throw the link in there because.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
I'm just going to read a little bit about this. So this fundraiser is to support Whitney Decker with expenses and legal costs. Yeah, I didn't think about that too. You've got legal costs with her 3 daughters, Paityn, Evelyn, and Olivia. On May 30th, the girls were reported missing after a scheduled visitation with their father. We're heartbroken to share that the girls have since passed. Their light touched so many, and the pain of this loss is immeasurable. I will say this. We had a local tragedy here at one of the high schools. It was one of the most recent mass shootings here in Georgia, and a family member made a fundraiser for the family. And they met their goal. And I reached out to her. Her name is Brenda. And I said, Brenda, raise the goal. And she's like, I don't want people to judge me. And I'm like, don't worry about it. I said, I'll take ownership of it. I said, I will say I'm the one who told you to raise, the fundraising goal. So it is very possible too, this got bumped up, the more and more people donated, which is amazing. So the gal who started this fundraiser, she's known Whitney for years. We're both dance moms, theater friends. Oh God, just it's heartbreaking because you do see those photos. Let's scroll up a little bit of these girls. Their friends are going to have to go to a funeral, right? I mean,
Yeah.
these girls are of the age where they are going to notice that their friend is missing.
Oh, yeah.
It's horrible. The funds will go directly to Whitney to help cover final expensive, support time off from work, very important, and give her space to heal without financial pressure. Oh, and this is the only, you guys, GoFundMe fundraiser. And we know that there are some wicked, evil people out there who will profit off of a tragedy and make fake accounts. So I am so glad to see that she put this here.
Yeah.
And she's also asking people to respect privacy at this time. She's not open to media right now, which is amazing because I'm not gonna lie, I know what the vultures are like. I've been one.
I know.
And when I read this, it makes me say, well, I will reach out to her friend and I'll tell her friend when she's ready to speak, let's talk. I would suggest anyone, honestly, who goes through a tragedy do the same thing here.
Yeah.
Because that kind of shuts down the speculation. you know, are they willing to talk? Do they want to talk? Let's kind of flip through some of these pictures too of these girls.
Yeah. There, one of the articles that I have, it has like 7 or 8 pictures of him, and I haven't scrolled through them yet.
Okay. You know, and
you're
here's
going to
the
have to
thing.
drop that link. It is not letting me drop it.
Oh, okay. No
Yeah,
worries. I'll go
sorry.
through it. You emailed it to me? Okay.
Yeah, there's 2 of them.
Sure. Yep, she's got a whole soccer team
Look at
that
that.
is going to have to know
Oh yeah, that's right. You know, and my mind hasn't gone there yet. All those
that
kids. When my brother was in 1st grade, there was a little girl that had cancer, and she passed, and you know, the kids went to the funeral and all that, and you know, you could choose whether you wanted to go or not, and my mom chose to take him.
right.
And she was very, just they went, and you know, she was very, um I don't know, she was really surprised how my little brother reacted, because you know, he was crying, he was sad, you know, but
Right.
he was of the mindset that she wasn't hurting anymore, and that he said, this is what he said she flew away. And I was like, that's
Oh,
always stuck
wow.
with me, and I just thought, wow, that's
Yeah,
really cool way to look at it, you know? She just flew away.
I like that. Yeah,
I
we're
do
we're
too.
kind of we're dealing with something similar where, you know, my dad is not doing well. He is sick.
Yeah.
And I'm having these conversations more and more with the kids
Yep.
about
Mhm.
what it means, you know, when you pass away and although you become invisible, you know, I believe, you know, you're still there in spirit or whatever it may be. And it's hard to explain that to them.
Mhm.
So a lot of these kids are going to have to, you know, a
There's
lot of parents,
school, there's soccer
yeah,
teams. I mean,
the
I'm sure
dance
they were involved in
teams,
other activities. Yeah. 'Cause all those
um,
kids are gonna be like, "Where are they?" You know?
right.
How do you tell kids
So
that
I have pulled
young?
up. I always wondered, and I've never asked her, and I never would, but I've always wondered how Nicole Atkinson had to face telling her children,
Yeah.
you know, that they were not
Yeah.
going to see Cece and Bella again.
I know. I
Um,
know.
I hope that, and the unfortunate thing is school is out right now,
Mhm, mhm.
so
I
hopefully
didn't
the
even think
school
about
systems
that.
do come. Hopefully they come together though, and they have a community gathering. Are you able to see the Daily Mail article right now?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm watching you
Is
move
it on?
around in it,
Okay.
yeah.
So, okay.
No, I
So
love that
here's the
picture.
girls. Mhm.
So cute.
And it seems like, you know, like Whitney had her life together. I mean, getting professional pictures is not cheap, you know?
No, my daughter-in-law, my son do it all the time for all their first birthdays, and it's really expensive.
Yeah. And when you see stuff like this, I I have to imagine she's probably
Mhm.
paying for it if he's
Mhm.
not working.
Mhm.
Oh,
What
that
does
one
she
did
do? Do
not.
we know that?
You know, I have not had a chance to dig into it.
I didn't haven't
Um,
either.
um, definitely something I plan to dig up more on. But,
Mhm.
you know, she seems like a woman who understood he had some issues, but also wanted the father in her daughter's lives, which obviously I feel like she put all the red flags up.
Mhm.
Except like you said, she probably should have said, nope, you can go hang out with them in the front yard. You can go to the park, but they are not staying with you at the campground,
Agreed.
or wherever he would. Oh, there we go. There's
There
her
you go.
man.
There's Big Dreamy. I know we
Right
probably shouldn't be joking
there's
about that, but
Madison.
that man is beautiful. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
You gotta have some humor and positivity
Some
in these
levity, yeah.
stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks like the same presser
It
from
does.
the other day. So
I have to
I
tell
don't
you,
think
I'm
they're gonna
watching
have
the
it.
Karen Reed trial with Kimberly Alive. I'm watching her. She created this new um live. She's never done live, so she's breaking into it and all that stuff. And um, she um, she is really good, and it's really funny because she's made like all these custom emojis, and she made a shirt. I bought it today. It has a leaf blower on it because they blew all the evidence away, right? And then the solo cups of
Yeah,
the blood
yeah.
and the snow was put in. So what this leaf blower is doing is it's blowing out solo cups that say DNA on them, and it's got
Oh Lord.
it is hilarious. I'll send you a picture of it. I was like, so
Okay.
we've started calling ourselves the law baddies.
I love it. That other article you sent me is not pulling up for some reason, and I swear to God, the Daily Mail is driving me nuts with all
Okay,
these
so let
pop-up
me
ads.
you want me to try to share for the first time and see if it works?
Hold on. This one
Okay.
is okay. Wait, let me see if this works. I'll just try a different browser here. No, it's not going to let me work. It was your quick facts article.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is not doing it for me. But hey, Dawn, welcome in. Yeah, we are kind of just jumping into this one and trying to gather as much info as we can about it.
And we're both kind of new to this kind of setup. I think we're doing pretty good, Jen. I really do.
Yeah, and I mean,
we'll get better.
Sure, and we've got a developing story too, and we had Will on the other day, which I mean, I loved that because he was able to give us real time experience, and I love having interviews with people who are involved in the mix, it would be interesting for someone to come out, which I'm surprised, it's been a week now and we have not heard anyone who served with him come out.
Not yet.
So I'm curious. Yes, Dawn, we said the same thing, except what is the motive? What is the motive behind this one? I believe we have a better picture that it is mental illness. It could be jealousy. Maybe Whitney has a new boyfriend and maybe he lost it.
I see. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
That's the first thought that went to my mind is if you're going to move on and try to be happy, I'm not going to let you, was my first thought.
Yeah.
It I cannot wrap my head around the fact though that we talk about this in the Chris Watts case. Not only did he have to do what he did first to Cece, he then made the choice to do it to Bella. We're talking about 3 little girls.
I know.
One at a time.
And they probably were aware what was happening to each other and
couldn't help each other. I mean, I'm guessing what he did is probably zip tied them all at the same time.
That's what I'm thinking too.
That's my thought. I don't know. I don't have any evidence to prove that.
Yeah.
But I would think he'd have to do that because I'm sure these girls would fight back and save their sisters. So I'm assuming he did that and then used the bags. But still, I mean, you can't do it all at once, right? So he did it individually and they all had to suffer and obviously watch that. I mean, it's just horrifying to
There's my friend Susie, the one I sent to you.
Welcome in.
Yeah.
Yes, Don, we know he has served time in Iraq and Afghanistan. Will gave us some information on that. Will is a channel called 411 Now, and he does similar. He covers true crime. I'll pin him up here, and his wife and kids were out camping while the search was going on for Travis Decker. So they had to evacuate the area where this was going on.
Yeah, and I think they found out some more information because I caught like a glimpse of something where they're now clearing another area. So I wish I could find that, but I have not. I was so into stuff.
I'm gonna do a scoop of the sheriff's office website real quick right now, just to see if we do have an updated press release, any updated information while we're live. I just
So I'm interested in the chat. While you're doing that, I'm going to ask a question. So when we first got on, and there was nobody on yet, me and Jim were talking about it, and just kind of I'm going to throw it out there, see what you guys think.
Oh yes, yeah, I think that's a good throw it out.
So, but do you guys think? What if he's not responsible for it? What if, somebody at the armory he was staying at got attached to the girls? And I don't know if everybody saw that part of it. He didn't have a place to go, and he was taking those 3 little girls to the armory, and they were sleeping there with him. And, we're thinking, could somebody there gotten attached to him? I mean, or to the girls or whatever. And and one of the reasons I'm thinking that, and it's really, really out there, I get that, but is because of the blood handprints on the back of the truck. And as far as we know, there was not blood anywhere else. So did they do something to him and like haul him off, or, I don't know. It's just but they are getting the dogs out there. So I think that's really going to tell us something.
Right. If we're picking up on another scent. So I did just do another scoop, and I don't see any updated information from the sheriff's office or anything like that. That would be giving us, any update. I don't even believe there was a presser, but we did get a look at those new photos today. One of them, he's got a ponytail, which I didn't,
those are in the article. Like I said, if I could share, I can see them. I don't know if I can or not. All I can do is try. I mean, I'm used to doing it from work, so if you want me to try to do it, I will.
I don't think it will let you share. I want to play this clip, I think, just to see if there was an up. And yes, Dawn, this guy is a survivalist, especially when they train you in the military, they want you to be able to live in the wilderness as long as you can. I mean, depending on what the situation may be. So he definitely knows how to live off the land. We've looked at his pictures. The guy is like a chameleon. He can change his appearance. Just amazing how he can change.
He was in Afghanistan on Stephanie's the video we watched earlier. He was in Afghanistan for 5 or 6 months when he was over there. And it was during the hotbed, when all that first started and everything. So, he may have, if I remember right, it seems like he was in intelligence.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if anyone who works with him comes out and speaks. It's been an entire week. I'm absolutely shocked. So this makes me think, is he a loner, similar to Chris Watts? doesn't have a lot of friends, doesn't have connections with friends. It sounds like he was depressed, so he probably did not confide in a lot of people about feeling down in the dumps. So maybe that's why we don't have interviews with people who knew him except for Whitney.
I know.
I'll go ahead and play this clip, see if we get anything new.
Okay.
Breaking news right now. We are moments away from getting an update from investigators after three young girls, sisters, were found dead in central Washington.
Multiple agencies are searching tonight for their father charged in their murders.
Looking live right now from Wenatchee. We're going to bring you that news conference live.
There's a man.
I know. Yeah, y'all, we've kind of become infatuated with the.
Hey, it is not just us. That I texted you earlier today. I was laughing really hard. Other content creators are talking about this, and they named him Sheriff McHottie. So it is not just me. Not you. It's not just me. It is the world.
Oh, it's not just you. It's definitely me too. So yeah, it could be everybody because I mean he is just a beautiful man.
I mean, I said it last night, and I shouldn't have. I'm a married woman with 2 kids. But,
that's okay. You still look.
It is not just me.
Yeah,
but okay, let's see if they do give an update from today.
Okay.
Once it begins, looks like we're just moments away. Again, this is in Wenatchee, where investigators are going to bring us up to speed on exactly what they know about what's happening there. Let's listen in.
And it sounds like they are maybe getting ready to begin that news conference. And let's go ahead and listen in.
Wenatchee Police Department. This is Sheriff Morrison, obviously, with the Chelan County. And I'm
Yeah, we know.
going to start out the press release and talk about how we got to where we did just a couple of days ago or just yesterday. So I'll start off and give you a timeline of the involvement of Wenatchee Police Department in this case. On May 30th, at about 9:35 p.m., Wenatchee police officer Corporal Gonzalez responded to a call of a civil complaint. In responding to that call, he interviewed Whitney, the mother of the 3 young girls. There was no reported history of problems with the parenting plan. There were reported concerns of Travis being homeless and financially stressed.
Okay, I was going to say, well, that's not true because we had to change the plan. But I think what he means is maybe things were going smooth as of the change, maybe.
Right.
Just recently. Whitney was clear that during the exchanges that had occurred in the past, that Travis was very communicative with her in any deviations from the parenting plan. Corporal Gonzalez, after speaking with Whitney, was able to identify Decker's vehicle through a local database called Spillman. He took the vehicle information and was able to enter it into Flock, which is a system of cameras that are located within the city and also in Chelan County.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Flock located the vehicle, the white GMC Sierra, traveling northbound across the Wenatchee River Bridge. This was shortly after Decker had picked up the children for the visitation. After this information was obtained, and in addition to information that had been received by Whitney that Travis frequented local hotels and often local campgrounds as well, all local hotels and campgrounds in East Wenatchee and Wenatchee were checked by patrol officers from those jurisdictions, and Decker was not located. Park rangers were also contacted at Confluence Park and made aware of the situation. An attempt to locate was then sent out by Corporal Gonzalez to all regional agencies containing Decker's information along with the vehicle information. After that, Corporal Gonzalez made contact with Washington State Patrol and consulted their unit for an Amber Alert. The information at the time did not meet the threshold for an Amber Alert. On May 31st, Corporal Gonzalez contacted Sergeant Eaton at about 7 a.m. and advised him of the situation. After that conversation had occurred, Detective Brian Hewitt with the Wenatchee Police Department and Detective Sergeant Joe Eaton discussed the incident as well. and Detective Hewitt responded that day to continue the investigation. The family was contacted and additional information was obtained. He learned Travis and the daughters did not arrive at a planned 5K running event that morning, which was out of the ordinary to Whitney. Travis had had a recent history of attending and being present for all the daughters' events and programs. And, excuse me, at that point, Detective Hewitt started to reach out to some of his contacts at the state and federal levels as well. He enlisted the assistance of the FBI, and with assistance from the FBI, phone location data was obtained for Thursday through Friday, plotting locations in and around Leavenworth. Detective Hewitt then, with that information, went to Leavenworth and started focusing on the areas of Chumstick and Icicle Road, and did not have any success in locating Travis or his vehicle or the girls. Throughout that day, Detective Hewitt had multiple contacts again with WSP, or Washington State Patrol, and continued to provide updates and request an Amber Alert, which still the information that he provided and had obtained did not meet the threshold for the Amber Alert to be activated. However, an Endangered and Missing Person Alert, an EMPA, was activated by the Washington State Patrol at approximately 4:00 p.m. I want to explain a little bit that the Endangered and Missing Person Alert does generate a flyer that goes out to all the contacts through that State Patrol Missing and Endangered Person Unit. So that
I do feel like this is a lot of kind of repetitive information.
I do want to, if you just give me, there's one that I sent to you. It's called Quick Facts about.
Yeah, that's the one that won't open for me for some reason.
Let me just they're little tiny they're like little blurbs. Okay, so let me read up here.
Yeah, let me pull a picture up of him, and then I'm going to show the sheriff's office website. So I'll put a picture of Decker up while you read some of what you got.
So it says Travis Decker, 32, served in the U.S. Army before transferring to Washington National Guard in 2021. After leaving the military, he reportedly faced mental health challenges and periods of homelessness. We know that. While his wife, Whitney Decker, had previously voiced concerns about his mental stability and parenting, she also stated she did not initially believe he was dangerous. The victims, we know about how they were found. It's like that, so I'm not going to touch on that again. But so the timeline is the children were collected by Travis Decker on the 30th of May. And then late evening is when, I'm sorry, they were picked up on the 29th. And then late evening on the 30th is when Whitney contacted the authorities after he failed to return the children. The 31st, Washington State Patrol issued an endangered missing persons alert for the children. June 2nd, the girls were found. But his mental health right here is something I wanted to read. And then just one more thing about the Amber Alert. So court documents reveal that Decker was required to undergo mental health evaluation and had been stripped of overnight custody. However, enforcement of these conditions appears to have been inconsistent. And that was Whitney trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Whitney Decker had previously warned of her ex-husband's erratic behavior and feared for the children's safety. The case has ignited a debate about how mental health issues are handled in child custody arrangements. Yeah, that could make some major changes, especially when one parent has a documented history of instability. And then the only thing I want to put on here is about the Amber Alert. It says there's criticism over alert system and police action. Public frustration has mounted over the authorities' decision not to issue an Amber Alert. Law enforcement initially treated the incident as a family custody matter, which delayed public awareness. Critics argue that this hesitation may have cost valuable time and search for the girls. Child safety advocates are now urging reforms in the alerts and had issued warnings concerned parents are taken. So there's a lot of people fussing about it, and
Yeah.
we went over it, what exactly what it was last night. So, I feel that there honest, and it was only one of the criteria. Remember when we looked at it? It was just one
Yes.
that
Just one.
that they
Yeah.
yeah, just one. Um, and who knows what that could have done? I mean, you know,
Yeah. I mean, we don't know what time he did this at. Could it have been in time? Um, yeah, and it's unfortunate. I mean, regardless whether it was too late or not,
yeah,
I think this incident showed us changes need to be made. And it's been many years since the Amber Alert system has come out. Technology has changed, it's developed. Things are going faster now. I mean, you can get a Uber, right? And
right.
and get get away or do this. Technology has changed, and I feel like it's time for us to change the alert system itself too.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I absolutely do.
so I totally agree with her.
Yeah,
Um,
I do too. Um, but do you want to mention what we were gonna? Because I know one, and then we can, like I said, I'd wrap it up. I know you have things you have to take care of, but about the comparison between him and Brian Laundrie. Remember, you said you wanted to bring that up.
oh yeah, let me just kind of look this over real
Okay.
quick. This is the sheriff's website, and here's their tip line. I mean, like they have said, this is a national
Yep.
story. He could be anywhere. I mean, gosh, we could go international. Did he make it to Canada? I don't know. So this is the tip line they're giving. Um, they're they did a post today. New details in search areas.
Oh wow, I need to look
I'd
at
be
that.
very surprised if they are detailed, because I don't think they want him to know
Right.
where they've searched. It doesn't look like they have. Okay. We've collected a large amount of evidence. Many of the suspect's personal items from the truck
Oh
recovered on scene.
wow.
We know about the dog being recovered, turned over to the Humane Society. It'll be interesting in the next couple of days. You're going to see a new dog for adoption, probably, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless they keep this dog there
Mhm.
because it has some type of evidence
Mhm.
um attached to it for the case. If this went to trial, honestly, I don't think they can adopt that dog out, because it kind of there's some crazy stuff that gets attached to cases and becomes evidence.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just housing the dog at the Humane Society for now. Yeah, it does even say for safe care.
Mhm.
So doesn't necessarily mean the dog's going to get adopted out. And honestly, maybe Whitney will want the dog because who knows, maybe the girls love the dog. We don't know.
Mhm.
Blood samples taken from the scene have come back positive to belonging to a male.
Mhm.
However, we don't know if that's him, like we
Right.
were talking earlier.
Right.
Another was not human blood. Okay. So animal blood,
Yep.
especially if it's that dog's blood, that
Right.
is going to go into evidence.
Right.
Further DNA and fingerprint analysis are still being conducted. So we
Mhm.
know they also discussed the medical examiner's findings as
Right.
well.
Right.
I don't even want to like read too into that. It doesn't sound like they do here.
Yeah.
But we already know zip ties were involved, and it sounds like plastic bags.
Yeah.
It just, I feel like, sure, they have some new evidence, but we need to know where he is. And
Yeah.
it is bringing me back to like we were discussing in text message before the live stream. Remember when Brian Laundrie was missing
Yeah.
and people were like, he's living in the garden. He's, he's here, he's there. Well, we discovered and there's still people to this day that don't think he actually died. They think that, I mean, there's some crazy theories that his family is a dentist, which I researched that. That is not true. He doesn't.
Oh, really?
That they thought that they took teeth and threw it out there in the field. You know how it goes.
Oh, yeah.
Go down the rabbit hole. There was a point where people thought he was living in the garden and that Roberta was outside feeding him through the garden.
Wow.
I mean, there's just crazy things, but we came to find out that Brian actually was dead, I believe, for an entire month until they found his body. So
yeah, I remember that.
He went out there to do what he did, but he wanted to come home and say goodbye. It makes you wonder. I mean, anyone who is possibly with Travis Decker is going to get charged as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I have noticed they have not said that in these pressers, which is shocking to me, that if you are hiding him, if you know his whereabouts, you could face charges yourself.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I've heard that.
And I was gonna say something real quick here because it's really weird, but I mean, like I said, Ted Bundy was arrested in Pensacola, Florida, which is where I live, and then Letitia Stout came down here, and actually, the Escambia County Bridge or the Escambia Bay Bridge is like in Pensacola, basically too, and that's where Gannon was found. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So he could be in Pensacola, he could be anywhere. It's like. It's really weird. And I was gonna say one more thing that I didn't know because I'm a history buff is that Bonnie and Clyde's dad was born in Pensacola. So
oh, really?
Yeah.
That in itself is a really cool story. That'd be cool if we actually did like that in history crimes. Yeah.
Watch Stephanie Harlow's 8-episode series on Bonnie and Clyde.
Okay, I definitely will. And yeah, I want to go back. I want to go back into the comment section and pin Stephanie's. Do you talk to her by any chance?
No, not right now.
Okay.
I haven't been in touch with her, but I mean, I've been putting stuff in her her chats, and she responds to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to reach out to her, see if maybe she wants to collab and just chit chat about this case. But if you guys are just joining us, we did show a clip earlier, and I am all about promoting other creators. So please go follow her to go watch the other video that we showed in the beginning. And I did show a couple news clips, which logos were on screen that entire time to give credit to those to those stations. So I really don't have anything else. I'm hoping in the next couple days we can kind of continue to research. Maybe some people will come out of the woodwork and talk. And
I'm gonna. It's really funny because when I sent some stuff to Jennifer, she was like, "Wow, when I get on something like this, I'm like obsessed." It's like
no. Dude,
it's just like I'm obsessed with Karen Reed, completely obsessed with her.
No.
So,
and you're not texting me too much. I'm telling you, like,
okay.
Amy and I probably, no joke, send each other about 40 text messages a day.
Okay.
And I've started to be like that with also Kelly from What's the Obsession.
Yeah, I've been texting Kelly some too. Yeah.
And it is just the most random stuff. And that's what I love about this community. And it's not just text messages about cases. We also just kind of start talking about our personal lives, and we become friends. And that's what I really love about this community. I'm going to pin Don up here. You guys, he is one of the people that I follow very closely. He is going through some really hard health issues right now and waiting for a donor for a transplant. I don't know if you caught the episode, but we actually had Suits talk about can organs be haunted?
I did. Yeah.
So we thought that was fun. But Don is someone I always check in on, and we just have some really cool regulars. I've been worried about, hey, Lauren, I've been worried about Olga. I have not seen her in a while, but
I haven't
I
either.
did reach out to Rob and I was like, have you seen Olga? And he said, I think I saw her. So yeah, if anyone has seen Olga, let me know. I did email her. I was just worried because I know she had her surgery recently. So I hope she's doing okay. But yeah, that is all I have. You guys, please consider going to donate. That's probably what I'm going to do as soon as I get off here. And then you and I can kind of coordinate and chat how we do this raffle. What should I give away? What is something that people would want as a prize?
Yeah.
So
No, I looked at your store and I'm like, yeah, I pretty much want everything. So
yeah. Oh, did he post the video, Lauren? He told me he was going to. I'll have to go over there and watch that. Thank you for coming over, Lauren,
Zawoki
for your
posted
support.
something on this?
No, he did I did the video where I pulled the reports. I finally got something back from Dodge Correctional and I did a video. And
Oh,
so he
wow.
asked if he could do a video. Actually, it was kind of funny because I didn't even say anything to anyone. I just did my own video. And Amy was like, oh, you got to, I'm like, of course I did. I'm like, sometimes I keep stories to myself.
Yeah, I
And
love him.
yeah, you just have to do that. So he did I think he wanted to review it. So I'll go over there and I'll check that out. But I appreciate him, pushing back.
Yeah.
To me, I've tried to convince him to do panel style like this. I just don't think it's his thing. And I respect that. That's cool. But we have done some collaboration. But
Maybe if we brought him up on something like this, and just let him talk to us or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just as a little visitor, whatever, it might help him because that was pretty intense,
Yes, for someone who's not into paranormal and also given he was tired that day. So I get that, but I think we should have a Watts panel. I told him you should host it, try something different, try something unique. So
yeah.
I'll keep poking him this summer and see what we
Poke
can
the
get
bear.
out of him.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm so glad you allowed me to come up with you again. I'm really enjoying it and I'm going to keep researching and hopefully we can get a good little crowd and
it is hard to compete too. So thank you guys for the replay crew. Please thumbs up. It is very hard to compete in the evening. Lots of different people are going live. And you've got lots of different cases to compete with. So however, you can always replay it and watch it later. And I feel like that's where I get a lot more traction. So
yeah, and if you guys are liking this, kind of how we're doing it, please invite your friends and just say, hey, maybe I'll come over and watch this. So, we can get a good little community going and hopefully maybe me and Jen can keep doing new cases and stuff like that because I feel like we're working pretty good together and I'm a researcher from hell. So it's like I'm sending her, I constantly send her stuff and I'm like, oh God, I'm going to drive her crazy.
No. And that's the one reason I keep my phone on silent is because I'm constantly chit chatting with people. And if I take a nap, they're not bothering me and waking me up. And then I just get to them later,
Yeah.
So you are not bothering me whatsoever. So thank you again for joining me.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll figure out another day to do that this week. Hopefully we get some updates here soon.
Yeah, I'll be watching and digging, and I know you will too. But okay, I will. I'm sure I'll be texting you tomorrow saying, "Hey, look at this."
I know. All right, I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye, you guys.
Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Once again, I just want to show Travis Decker still on the run. A reward up to $20,000. Go over to the GoFundMe page and donate to Whitney and her family. She has to lay these 3 girls to rest. And it is just a tragedy. And we will be back probably later this week with updates. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. I am so close to 5K. And all of your thumbs up, your emojis, your support is very, very helpful. Stay well, you guys, and I'll see you soon.